the National News Studio, Sri Lanka.
Good evening and welcome to the National News broadcast brought to you live from the National News Studios here at the Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation. I am Dishan Veerakone and joining me tonight is Sharifa Tahir. First up, let's take a look at your headlines. The government says electricity tariffs need to be increased to avoid a 10-hour power cut. The spending limit for a voter is 15 rupees. Unfinished Colombo roads. 4-year imprisonment for Ajit Prasanna. India to assist the tourism industry promotion. The coronation of King Charles III set for the 6th of May. Now moving on into those and other stories in detail. Now all political parties have agreed to limit the maximum spending by a candidate on a voter to 15 rupees.
The relevant decision was reached during a meeting held among political party leaders, secretaries and the Election Commission today. The meeting was held at the Election Secretariat. The leaders, secretaries and representatives of political parties contesting for the upcoming local government polls were present at this occasion. Following the discussion, Election Commissioner General Saman Sri Ratnayaka, addressing the media, said that this measure will allow the Commission to monitor the campaign spending, which is drastically reduced to 15 rupees. He said that all parties and candidates have to submit audit accounts over their campaigns within 21 days following the conclusion of the election, which will then be publicized. He said that legal action will be taken against those who violate the spending limit.
දෙන්න ඕනේ කියන එක අපි. මේක අපි වැදලා ඉන්නවා ප්‍රසිද්ධියටපත් කරන්න. මුදලේ සීමාවෙන් එහාට වෙදන් කරලා තියෙනවා කියලා ඔප්පු වුණොත් එහෙම අධිකරණයක් තුල උගේ දුරේ අවශ්‍ය වෙන්න පුළුවන්.
Former parliamentarian and Samagi Janabalavega candidate for the Colombo Municipal Council, Mujibur Rahman, has filed a fundamental rights petition with the Supreme Court requesting to issue an order against the respondents, including the Election Commission, to take necessary steps to conduct the local government elections without any disruptions. 35 persons, including the members of the Election Commission and the Cabinet of Ministers, have been named as respondents.
Now, Cabinet spokesman Minister Bandula Gunawardena says the electricity tariffs need to be increased to avoid a 10-hour power interruption. Now, he made these remarks during a media briefing held at the Government Information Department today to announce the Cabinet decisions. Minister Bandula Gunawardena said that the monthly income of the electricity board is at 35 million rupees. He said that due to the inability to purchase coal for power generation on a timely basis, the CEB is compelled to store coal for future use. Accordingly, he said that 38 billion rupees have been utilized to purchase coal in the month of January. He added that the CEB is unable to bear the cost of coal procurement with the monthly income and is compelled to take loans to make the necessary payments. He also said that due to the prevailing financial situation, loan facilities are discouraged. Hence, the power generation will be affected and may lead to power interruptions of 10 to 12 hours. The minister said that the power supply has to be ensured for the livelihoods of the people in the country. He added that an additional 5 billion rupees is required to ensure power supply during the advanced level examination period. Accordingly, he said that power interruptions will not occur during the time of the examinations. The minister said a power shedding schedule has been prepared to disconnect power during the evening and night time.
කප්පාදුවක් සිද්ධ වෙන්නේ නැහැ. ඒ කියන්නේ පස්වරු 4 වෙනතෙක් විදුලිය කප්පාදුවක් සිද්ධ වෙන්නේ නැහැ. ඊට පස්සේ හවස්වරුවේ කොටසකුත් රාත්‍රියේ කොටසකුත්.
Minister Bandula Gunawardena said that the political parties representing the government have completed the preliminaries related to the local government polls. He said that the relevant nominations have been made on the scheduled dates and times. He said that they have informed the Election Commission as well as the courts over the prevailing situation in the country. He pointed out the difficulties pertaining to the election process amidst the power supply issues. The minister added that the country is expected to face a difficult period if the IMF fails to provide the relevant loan assistance. He said that the government will refer to the technical assistance extended by the IMF to mitigate the prevailing situation and ensure financial stability.
International Monetary Fund says India has committed to help ease the debt burden of Sri Lanka as part of a potential IMF-supported program. Meanwhile, Central Bank Governor Dr. Nandalal Veerasinghe has said that Sri Lanka is committed to meeting all its debt repayments. An IMF spokesperson said in a statement yesterday that Sri Lanka is engaged with other official bilateral creditors to obtain similar assurances. The statement has indicated that a fund-supported program for Sri Lanka will be presented to the IMF's executive board for approval that would unlock the relevant financing after adequate assurances are obtained and remaining requirements are met. Sri Lanka requires the backing of China and India, its biggest bilateral lenders, to reach a final agreement with the IMF that is essential to help the country emerge from its worst financial crisis in 7 decades. India has officially conveyed its strong support to Sri Lanka's debt restructuring plan as the country is seeking a $2.9 billion extended fund facility from the global lender. In the meantime, foreign reports have indicated that the Export-Import Bank of China has offered Sri Lanka a 2-year moratorium on its debt and said it will support the country's efforts to secure an extended loan assistance from the International Monetary Fund.
Meanwhile, Central Bank Governor Dr. Nandalal Veerasinghe has said that Sri Lanka is committed to meeting all its debt repayments. The Central Bank Governor said that the country is expecting to complete debt restructuring negotiations in the next 6 months. Speaking at an event titled Economic Outlook 2023, Dr. Veerasinghe has said that the country has achieved a significant progress this month, with India already pledging financial assurances. He said that they are expecting assurances from China and Japan soon.
The Sri Lanka Bureau of Foreign Employment contributed a sum of 3 billion rupees to the Treasury. Labour and Foreign Employment Minister Manusha Nanayakkara officially handed over the cheque to President Ranil Wickremesinghe at the Presidential Secretariat yesterday.
Considering the current economic situation of the country, the Sri Lanka Foreign Employment Bureau has provided this amount from the operational surplus received last year to use for essential services such as to purchase of medicine, to purchase of paddy and the payment of government employment salaries. Previously, the total amount of money given to the Treasury by the Sri Lanka Bureau of Foreign Employment was 3.38 billion rupees, and this is the first time in history that 3 billion rupees has been given in a single contribution. The Sri Lanka Foreign Employment Bureau has taken steps to make a grant of 500 million rupees for the purchase of necessary medicines for the cancer hospital, of which a cheque of 100 million rupees was also presented to the President. President Ranil Wickremesinghe handed over the cheque to Health Minister Kehelia Rabukwella.
Retired Major Ajit Prasanna was sentenced to 4 years of rigorous imprisonment by the Supreme Court today. The court issued the verdict after finding retired Major Ajit Prasanna guilty of contempt of court charges. The Supreme Court also imposed a fine of 300,000 rupees. Accordingly, the court order has further indicated that another 6-month imprisonment will be imposed against the defendant if he fails to pay the fine. The Supreme Court also ordered the Attorney General to take steps pertaining to his profession as a lawyer. The court case filed against retired Major Ajit Prasanna for criticizing a judgment announced by a 5-member Supreme Court judge panel confirming the order issued for the Duminda Silva court case. A writ petition was filed in the Court of Appeal today seeking an order to revoke the order issued by the Cabinet to the Public Utilities Commission pertaining to the proposed electricity tariff revision. The Electricity and Renewable Energy Association and Centre for Environmental Justice filed this writ petition. The Colombo High Court ordered today to call for defence evidence pertaining to the case filed against former police officer ASP Kulasira Udagampula over the raid conducted at the safe house in Millennium City in Athuragiriya. The case was filed alleging that confidential information regarding Army intelligence personnel were revealed following a raid conducted at a safe house in the Millennium City in 2002. Two persons have taken into custody for allegedly threatening officials of the Public Utilities Commission last 20th.
Accordingly, Secretary of Electricity Users Association Sanjeeva Dhammika and convener of the Samagi United Trade Union Alliance Ananda Palitha were arrested last night. The suspects were taken into custody from Vattala and the Mellavageda areas. The two members of the PUCSL Commission have lodged the complaint with the Kollupitiya police on charges of threatening, using criminal coercion and obstructing the duties of the officials of the Commission. Accordingly, an investigation has been initiated by the Kollupitiya police station jointly with a team from the Colombo Crimes Division. The police said that steps were taken to produce the suspects to the Fort Magistrates Court today.
Parents of a student of Kaluthara Vidyalaya who was allegedly assaulted by a group of students from the same school has been admitted to the Sri Jayawardhanapura hospital at present. The student had been admitted to Kaluthara Vidyalaya for advanced levels. The incident had occurred last 16th. Reports have indicated that the students had faced ragging on the first day of his enrollment to the school. The student was immediately admitted to the Nagoda hospital in Kaluthara after being assaulted by a group of students. The parents of the student said that the child was admitted to Sri Jayawardhanapura hospital for further treatments. Minister Ali Sabri met with the Governor of Medina in Saudi Arabia, Faisal bin Salman bin Abdul Aziz Al Saud, today. In a tweet, the minister said that fruitful discussions on various sectors were held during this meeting.
The minister said that the discussion with the Governor of Medina was focused primarily on more employment opportunities for Sri Lankans in the region, investment in Sri Lanka and the potential of Sri Lanka as an attractive tourism destination. He also met with His Excellency Hussein Brahmin Taha, Secretary General of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, today. In a tweet, the minister said that both the parties agreed to enhance engagement and continue to cooperate in multilateral fora. The tweet further read that the minister has urged humanitarian and economic support from OIC countries during the meeting. The minister is currently on an official visit to Saudi Arabia on an invitation of the Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Kingdom, Prince Faisal bin Farhad Al Saud. The minister is scheduled to meet with the Saudi Foreign Minister and discuss further enhancement of the cordial bilateral relations. The minister is also expected to meet with the senior officials of the Islamic Development Bank, the Gulf Cooperation Council and the Governor of Mecca during the visit.
Veteran Indian actor Ashish Vidyarthi has arrived in the country, accepting an invitation extended by the Sri Lankan government. The Indian actor has visited the island to take part in a campaign to promote Sri Lanka tourism among Indian tourists, and Ashish Vidyarthi has acted in many Bollywood and Collywood films as well. Ashish Vidyarthi, who has won many Indian and international accolades including Filmfare and Indian National Awards, is considered a prominent actor with a career over 25 years in Indian film industry. He has acted in more than 250 films in 11 languages. He is also known for his immense popularity in social media, especially in Facebook and Instagram. Accordingly, Sri Lanka Tourism Promotion Authority has invited the actor to visit the country under the program to promote Sri Lanka tourism through popular personnel entertainment industry across the world.
Now, a clean green city building program has been implemented in conjunction with the 75th National Independence Day celebration, entrusting the youth with the responsibility of creating a green Sri Lanka. Cleaning of one of the selected cities representing each divisional secretariat division in Sri Lanka will be carried out under the initial phase of the program. Accordingly, from February 3rd to the 10th, cleaning of selected cities will commence with the labour contribution of 50,000 youth from all 335 divisional secretariat divisions covering the whole island. During the initial phase, in conjunction with the 75th Independence Day, the contributions of provincial councils, urban councils, municipal councils and their affiliated institutions will be obtained, and the regional secretaries, Sri Lanka Police, health service officers and other community bases and voluntary organizations are also expected to contribute. The relevant city should be cleaned monthly, and it is expected to indirectly obtain the contribution of other youth organizations, university students, students of training centers, scouts, cadet groups and school environment activists in each division. It is also significant that this green city building program is expected to receive the contribution of the United Nations volunteers. The Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports, the National Youth Services Council, the Sri Lanka Youth Club Federation and the Youth Parliament jointly implemented this program under the National Youth Platform in accordance with the concept of President Ranil Wickremesinghe to formally engage the youth in the country's development. Now, Cabinet Ministers have granted approval to implement the program designed to resolve issues in relation to the forests under the purview of the Departments of Forest Conservation and Wildlife Conservation. Now, the program has been prepared under the instructions of the President.
Although the issues of the people residing and engaged in agricultural activities within the forest under the purview of the Departments of Forest Conservation and Wildlife Conservation have not been discussed for a long time, and no permanent solution has been given in relation to their issues. A program with precise dates and times have been prepared with the objective of providing solutions for the relevant issues. The preliminary stage of the program is expected to be implemented in districts with thick forest cover and affected by the conflict period.
The Cabinet of Ministers approved the proposal presented by President Wickremesinghe to take prompt measures to implement the e-license program of the Import and Export Control Department. The number of licenses issued by the Import and Export Control Department in a year is approximately 17,000. The relevant program is expected to make the process more efficient.
Colombo port is the largest port in Sri Lanka as well as the main hub port in the South Asian region. One of the primary strategic objectives of the Port Authority's National Port Master Plan is to turn Colombo port into a service supply hub. Battenberg and Bloomingdale service delivery areas belonging to Colombo South Port have been identified as areas that can be developed under public-private partnership. The Colombo International Container Terminals Company has submitted a proposal to implement the first phase of the proposed project with an investment of $150 million, and the proposal has been evaluated by a cabinet-appointed negotiation committee. Accordingly, the Cabinet Ministers approved the proposal presented by Minister Nimal Siripala de Silva to implement the proposed project as a public-private partnership project.
The Cabinet of Ministers approved the proposal presented by the Minister of Justice, Prison Affairs and Constitutional Reforms to declare March 7 the date of enactment of the Assistance to and Protection of Victims of Crime and Witnesses Act No. 4 of 2015 as the Assistance to and Protection of Victims of Crime and Witnesses Day. The relevant proposal was furnished by Minister Vijayadasa Rajapaksa.
Air navigation fee relating to international flights flying over the Colombo Flight Information Region is levied by the Airports and Aviation Services Private Limited and has not been revised since 1985. Accordingly, the Cabinet Ministers approved the proposal presented by Minister Nimal Siripala de Silva to revise the air navigation fees for international flights flying over the Colombo Flight Information Region with effect from February 1st. Steps have been taken to appoint a committee to look into the problems that have been arisen in connection with the whitewater rafting water sports centered around the Kitulgala area due to Broadland's hydroelectric project.
Secretary to the President Saman Ekanayaka was issued these instructions during the discussion held at the Presidential Secretariat yesterday to find possible solutions in this regard. Whitewater rafting in the Kitulgala area has drawn a large number of local and foreign tourists. According to those who provide related services, the Broadlands hydroelectricity project has had a significant impact on the operation of the Kitulgala water rafting industry. As a result, their livelihoods have been greatly impacted, and they have requested the authorities to help save the sport, which has the potential for earning foreign exchange for the country. The director of Broadlands Hydropower project, who participated in this discussion, stated that steps have been taken to cooperate with the Kitulgala white water rafting service provider community in accordance with existing technical arrangements. However, the President's secretary drew attention to the practical issues raised by the community, providing relevant services, and directed officials to provide prompt solutions in this regard. He also advised the committee comprising officials from the Ministry of Tourism and like institutions to conduct a field investigation into the issues raised and submit a report within 2 weeks.
Sri Lanka Podu Jana Peramuna National Organizer Basil Rajapaksa says the election campaign for the local government election will commence today. He made these remarks in Kandy. Upon arrival to Kandy, former Minister Basil Rajapaksa visited the Sri Dalada Maligava and invoked blessings. Speaking to media, former Minister Basil Rajapaksa said that he is not part of the government and the party is preparing for the upcoming elections. He said that the election may not be postponed, although many anticipated for the postponement of the nominations as well.
Sri Lankan film director Anuma Rajakaruna has won an award at an international film festival held in Dhaka, Bangladesh. Acclaimed film director Anuma Rajakaruna, who has won many national and international awards, is popular for her artistic cinematic creations. She arrived in the country today after receiving the award. Now, many roads in Colombo city have become dilapidated due to a project initiated by the Water Supply and Drainage Board.
The roads have become dilapidated due to the failure to restore the trenches excavated to lay the water supply system. The main water pipeline system in Colombo city is more than 130 years old. Accordingly, a project at a cost of close to 40 billion rupees was initiated to restore the system based on the concept of the National Water Supply and Drainage Board. The restoration project expected to reduce the water supply wastage up to 10%. Another objective of the project is to increase the water pressure in the Colombo city system, which covers more than 800 kilometers. Increasing the water supply for special projects currently underway in Colombo and Colombo Port City is another priority of the project. However, it has been observed that the project has considerably damaged many roads in the Colombo city. The excavation of trenches to lay pipes during the night time in the last couple of months has also affected the motor traffic movement during morning hours.
Welcome back, and now taking a look at your international stories for tonight. Now, Buckingham Palace on Saturday revealed details of King Charles III coronation that will see 3 days of celebrations across the country in which the public will be invited to participate.
The coronation will take place on Saturday, May 6th, the coronation big lunch and coronation concert the following day, and an extra bank holiday on Monday. The public will be invited on the last day to join the big help out by volunteering in their communities. UK Secretary for Digital, Culture, Media and Sports said in a statement that everyone is invited to join in on any day, whether that is by hosting a special street party, watching the coronation ceremony or spectacular concert on TV, or stepping forward during the big help out to help causes that matter to them. The palace said the coronation itself will be a solemn religious service as well as an occasion for celebration and pageantry conducted by the Archbishop of Canterbury, Justin Welby. It will, the palace reiterated, reflect the monarch's role today and look towards the future while being rooted in long-standing traditions in pageantry.
Now, in more international stories, the US state of California is reeling from its third mass shooting in 8 days after a man shot dead 7 former co-workers south of San Francisco. The attacks took place in the coastal city of Half Moon Bay. The victims were all Chinese-American farm workers. Suspect Zhao Chunli, 67, was arrested after driving to a police station. It comes as the state mourns the death of 11 at Monterey Park, about 6 hours southeast of Half Moon Bay, during Lunar New Year celebrations. And just over a week ago, 6 people, including a teenage mother and a baby, were killed at a property in Goshen, south of Los Angeles. California governor tweeted that he was at a hospital meeting with victims of the earlier mass shooting when he was pulled away to be briefed about the second attack, describing it as a tragedy upon tragedy.
Are looking into the incident.
Japan's Prime Minister says his country is on the brink of not being able to function as a society because of its falling birth rate. Fumio Kishida said it was a case of now or never. Japan population is 125 million, estimated to have had fewer than 800,000 births last year. In the 1970s, that figure was more than 2 million. Birth rates are slowing in many countries, including Japan's neighbors. But the issue is particularly acute in Japan as life expectancy has risen in recent decades, meaning there are a growing number of older people and a declining numbers of workers to support them. According to World Bank data, Japan now has the world's second highest proportion of people aged 65 and over, about 28% after the tiny state of Monaco. Japan's Prime Minister said that he eventually wants the government to double its spending on child-related programs. He added that a new government agency to focus on the issue will be set up in April. However, Japanese governments have tried to promote similar strategies before without success.
Many life priorities. So marriage is.
Now, China's northernmost city, Mohe, has recorded its lowest temperature since records began. Now, Mohe, known as China's North Pole, is in the province of Heilongjiang, close to the Russian border. On Sunday, its local meteorological station recorded a record low temperature of -53 degrees Celsius at 7 a.m. The previous coldest temperature on record in the city was minus 52.3 degrees Celsius in 1969. However, the temperature is still shy of China's national record. The coldest temperature ever recorded in China is minus 58 degrees Celsius in the city of Zhenhe, Inner Mongolia, in December 2009. By contrast, the lowest temperature recorded in the UK is minus 27.2 degrees Celsius, set in different parts of Scotland in 1895, 1982 and 1995. Moher is no stranger to cold weather. The media report that the city is regarded as the coldest in China and that its winter period usually lasts 8 months. As a result, it attracts tourists throughout the year with its North Pole, ice and snow parks and skiing venues. In previous years, it has also hosted winter marathons. And this time of the year, it is common for the city to see average temperatures of minus 15 degrees Celsius.
Because it takes so long, the locals will usually...
Poland has officially asked Germany for permission to export a host of Leopard 2 battle tanks to Ukraine in a move which raises pressure on Berlin to make a decision on the thorny issue. The German government told it had received the request to export 14 German-made tanks today. But it has insisted the final decision lies with Chancellor Olaf Scholz. Ukraine sees the tanks as vital for breaking through Russian lines and to beat an anticipated counter-defensive and offensive. The Leopard 2 tanks were specifically designed to compete with the Russian T-90 tanks, which are being used in the invasion. But export laws mean any country that wishes to send the tanks require Berlin's permission. Poland's Prime Minister Mateusz Morawiecki said he hoped Germany would quickly respond to the request and accused Germany of delaying, dodging, acting in a way that is difficult to understand. He also said Poland would ask the European Union to compensate the cost of the tanks it wants to send to Ukraine.
Requested the tanks to bolster its defenses against Russia's assault.
Welcome back. Now taking a look at your sports stories for tonight. The president of the Sri Lanka Football Federation, Sri Ranga, says that steps will be taken to negotiate with FIFA to withdraw the ban imposed against the federation. Now, he made these comments at a briefing held in Colombo yesterday.
FIFA banned the Football Federation of Sri Lanka until further notice, effective from January 21st. The suspension lifting date is yet to be announced. According to the suspension, Sri Lanka is no longer entitled to take part in international competitions. Furthermore, Sri Lanka will not receive any financial assistance from FIFA until the suspension is effective. President of Sri Lanka Football Federation, Sri Ranga, said that necessary measures will be taken to lift the ban imposed on Sri Lanka through negotiations with FIFA.
අපි අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම කටයුතු කරනවා මේක කරන්න වැඩ මොනවද දන්නවද දැන් බෑන්ඩ් එක තිබ්බා කියලා දැන් ජාති අතර සෙල්ලම් කරන්න බෑ ඒක එක පැත්තෙන් දැන් තියෙන තත්ත්වයට අපි සෙල්ලම් කරොත් 209 207 209 යයි එහම ටීම් එක තියෙන්නේ.
Former president of the federation also made remarks regarding the ban.
He
said that sports ministry along with the minister will negotiate with FIFA regarding the ban. He said that FIFA constitutional provisions are available to lift the ban on conditions.
Well, that's a wrap of tonight's Primetime News Bulletin here at the Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation. And until we meet again next time, do take care and good night.
Good night.